Rivian has just released a new software update. 2024.27 has just come out, which features a bunch of new stuff, including Connect Plus, Apple Music, Audible, and much, much more. In this Rivian Tracker video, we're going to take a peek at all the fun stuff coming in this latest Rivian software update. All right, so what's included in 2024.27? Well, we got a couple of little things. We got number one, Connect Plus 60-day free trial. We're going to talk about Connect Plus a little bit later in this video to talk about what's included in Connect Plus versus not having Connect Plus and how much it costs and all that. You're also going to get Apple Music native app. That's finally available, and guys, I got to say, it is really good. It is the first Rivian native app that includes spatial audio or Dolby Atmos. We also finally get Audible. Audible has come to the Rivian, and so that's really exciting. So you'll be able to listen to your audiobooks, podcasts, whatever you like through Audible. Also includes spatial audio slash Dolby Atmos. Rivian has also done some updates and enhancements to the power outlets and how they work. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And then a bunch of other bug fixes and whatnot. So let's flip the camera around, jump into the center screen here, and talk about this new software update. I just updated my R1T to 2024.27. And as soon as you get in the vehicle, you get this beautiful new prompt, which tells you, hey, see what's new with, in this case, Rivian Tracker being my vehicle. Software 2024.27 gives you more ways to enjoy music, podcasts, and stories you love. Explore highlights. Groove to Apple Music. There it is. Listen to 100 million songs ad free. And Rivian owners, if you don't already have Apple Music subscription, you can get 3 free months. And I'll tell you a little bit about that later. If you are an Audible subscriber, you can listen to your audiobooks and podcasts as well as Audible originals right from your Rivian, which is super exciting. So we'll hit got it. Boom. Now let's pull up the music app here and slide that. Yep. We've added Apple Music and Audible. See all your apps here. Okay. So we'll slide that away. I'm going to click this. And there is a new drawer that shows you all of the current accessible apps. There's Apple Music. There's Audible. I'm going to tap Apple Music. And let's see what happens here. Apple Music, sign in Apple Music, get free months. Okay, cool. Sign in. Scan QR code. So I'm going to scan this QR code. I'll be right back. So I'm going to activate my account and see what it looks like. Okay, guys, the first thing we are going to talk about today is the power outlet improvements. So we're going to tap on Vehicle. We're going to swipe on over. Vehicle. Swipe on over to Shortcuts. Hit Outlets. And you're going to see a new option here called Auto. And what Auto lets you do is that it will allow the outlets to stay on when you're using the vehicle and turn them off when you leave. So right now, before this software update, if you wanted to use your outlets, you would typically come in here, go to Outlets, and then you would click Timer. Oops, man, I keep getting out of it. You would hit Timer, and you would select how long you want your outlets to last. Well, with this option at Auto, what that lets you do now is it lets you keep your outlets turned on at all times as long as you're in the vehicle and the vehicle is being used. So you'll notice here now that it says outlets on Auto. So now I can go to the back of the vehicle, plug something into one of the 110 volt outlets in the bed, and it will work without having to come in here and finagle with a timer or anything. Now, you can also still use these two things at the same time. So you can leave it auto, but also leave a timer on, which works if you want to be able to use the outlets when you're not in the vehicle. So let's say that I typically leave it in auto, but I want to run a 3-hour timer, right? Indicated by the little timer icon that you saw up there. And I want to run a 3-hour timer saying, no matter what, whether I'm in the vehicle or I leave the vehicle, I want to make sure that I keep the timer running for the next 3 hours. Now, if we go into camp mode, you will notice that in camp mode, you have here the as well as outlets. So you can easily access that menu here and have it set to on and have it set to auto so that you can keep that on and keep things running in your vehicle when you're in camping mode, which is really neat. So that's really cool. That's a nice way of, I'm going to use a use case for myself. When I am out and about washing my truck, often I will use the outlets in the bed to plug in a couple of different tools that I have to use, power tools to clean the wheels or whatever. And being able to now just plug in and have it be able to be used without having to come into the truck and come in and set a timer, blah, blah, blah. It's very convenient. So 10 out of 10 for that power outlet improvements. I see no reason why not to just keep this on auto. So I'm going to keep it on auto. Moving on. Now we're going to spend some time in the music app because there's a lot to talk about in here. Number one, we have a new drawer to access all of the music apps. So if you tap these little 3 icons here, the ellipsis, you will see this new drawer that pops out and it shows you your favorites as well as additional stuff. Now I've gone in here and added Apple Music, Bluetooth, and FM radio as my favorites, but you can move things around. So let's say I wanted to add Audible to my favorites. I can press and hold and drag it over. And now what that does is if I exit out of this and come here, you're going to see that Audible has been added to the list of favorites here on the left hand side. So Apple Music, Bluetooth, FM radio, Audible. So you can adjust and drag things as you like. If you want to move Audible to the top, you can do that, right? So now Audible sits at the top, Apple Music's at the bottom. So that's really neat. So go back here. And so you can move things around however you like. Now, this is really cool. So let's talk about Apple Music and Audible. So I came in here and set up Apple Music automatically, but when you first load it up, you'll get a QR code. You'll scan that with your phone. You'll log into your Apple account, and then it brings you right here to the home screen where you have all of your favorites already there. You have the option to browse for music. You have Apple Radio, and then you have your library. So you'll be able to access all your library stuff here. You also have a search. So you can come in here and search for whatever you want. Hit OK, and it will populate pretty quickly everything that you want in here. And you'll be able to tap an artist, for example, and just start playing songs, or tap this play button to start playing shuffle songs, which is really neat. So Rivian and Apple worked together to create this interface, and I think it is a home run in terms of interface. Coming down to the little player here, you can tap on this icon to pull up the different sources from your favorites. You can star a song, and that will favorite it. You can also click the little ellipsis down here to create a station based on this song that you're playing. And if you have a song that you're playing that's not in your favorites, you'll be able to come in here. So here, let me show you something. I'm going to click Pirates of the Caribbean song here. Hit this, and now you have an option to add to library. All you have to do is tap it, and that's it. You also have the option to shuffle or loop and all that cool stuff right down there from the little ellipsis. So that's really neat there. When a song is playing that does have spatial audio or Dolby Atmos, you will notice that it will say Dolby Atmos here in the bottom. Now, give it a second to buffer, and it should show up. I'm outside my garage where I don't have a lot of good service, so it's trying to load from there. But let me see if I disconnect the Wi-Fi. It should connect to LTE, which is a little bit better. Well, I'll insert a clip here to show you what that looks like, but it'll say Dolby Atmos, which is really neat. So we'll connect back to Wi-Fi. Okay. One thing, caveat with all this, it's all dependent on the service or internet connection that you have, right? So you may not necessarily always have the best connection depending on where you are. Remember, the vehicle uses AT&T LTE. or your Wi-Fi that you're connected to, whether that's your phone's hotspot or whatever you want it to be. So anyways, that's over there, sitting right there. You can also click here like recently played, and it will show you a list of all the stuff that's been recently played. Moving down to Audible, this is kind of what you're going to see when you open up Apple Music for the first time as well. You're going to see a screen that says sign into Audible or sign into Apple Music, and you'll hit sign in, and it will take you through the process of scanning this QR code where you can either sign in with your email right here through the Rivian's interface, right? So you have this here where you can type in your email and Amazon password, or you can just use the QR code to scan and log in. So that will let you have access to Audible. Like I said, this is a drawer, so you can scan things, you can move things around however you like, and easily access them here. You'll have the first 3 here, and then the most recent one that you access that's not a favorite will sit on the 4th one here. Kind of similar to how over here you have the last icon that you used sitting here on the dock, outside of your 5 normals. So that is really cool. So I have to give props, 10 out of 10 to Rivian, Apple, and Amazon for working all together to create great integration directly in the media app. So this is a great sign of things to come, and I expect we'll see YouTube and Google Casting here in the not too distant future. So that's really cool. Good news is that it's dark outside, so I get to show you some added fun little Easter eggs. So now there's stars that have been added to the backgrounds at nighttime of the Cel-Shading drive mode screen. So you can kind of see the stars, and if you use your fingers, you can move around. That's really cool, and also been added to the camping screen. So let's take a peek at that. So now you have some stars there as well. Guys, I just spent the last 20 minutes just sitting in my car blasting Apple Music, Dolby Atmos, spatial audio, all that good stuff. And I have the Meridian sound system in my Rivian because I have an early variant of the truck, and I never really had an issue. I'm not an audiophile, I just want good sounding quality music. But like, once you start getting into like, lossless versus all that stuff, it doesn't matter to me. This is a game changer, you guys. It really does sound phenomenal. And I know people always say I use the word phenomenal a lot, but it really truly is a game changer, the way that this sounds. Now, I can't say how this is going to sound on other Rivian sound systems, but on the Meridian sound system, which is the system that came with the original Rivians, it sounds really freaking good. Apple has a whole playlist for spatial audio where you can listen in, and songs that are specifically designed to be enjoyed in spatial audio, and most of them are, and you really get to hear it. And toggling on and off between the two different things, because you can go into settings as the song is playing and toggle on and off, you can hear the difference. Now, I don't know what magic tricks they're playing to get this accomplished, and I'm sure it's not, some people are going to say, Jose, it's just, a party trick. Might be, but it really does sound really good. The bass is good. I keep my EQ set to rock. I think that's where I've liked it the most, and so that's where I keep it. But so that's my preferred location for audio, with bass and treble and all that. But I really think that this sounds really good. I hope you guys get a chance to listen to it, and I hope you agree. And if you don't, let me know what you think below in the comments. But 10 out of 10 Rivian. You did great implementing, first of all, the whole Apple Music technology into the Rivian. I think it's far superior than the Tesla one, which I've used. So great job with that. But also the spatial Dolby Atmos, 10 out of 10. Great job, guys. Okay, now that you've kind of seen what 2024, 2027 looks like, let's talk about Connect Plus. So by default, everybody's going to get a 60-day free trial of Connect Plus. Now, Jose, you're probably thinking, Jose, what's Connect Plus? I'll drop a link in the description below. It kind of talks, I created an article on riviantracker.com that talks about this, but pretty much Connect Plus is Rivian's new premium subscription service that will unlock certain things in the vehicle. Now, look, let me be fully transparent. A lot of the things that you're going to end up paying for are things that you've already had for free. So for example, using the native apps on the media apps, so like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, TuneIn, all of those apps are now going to kind of go behind this Connect Plus paywall. And what I mean by that is that in order to be able to use them, you need to have internet connection. In order to get internet connection, you need to have, there's two ways to go about it. The easiest way is paying Rivian for Connect Plus, which is a monthly $14.99 subscription fee. And if you pay yearly, you get a discount. That will give you unlimited AT&T LTE hotspot in your Rivian. You're probably familiar with that now because you get that now for free. But we always knew that this was not always going to be free. So now you'll have to pay for it. So you're going to get that. When you get that, you will now unlock the ability to be able to stream through your Rivian vehicle all of these apps, right? So that makes sense. But Jose, I don't want to pay $14.99 a month. Okay. You have another option. The other option is that with this update, Rivian will now let you do wireless tethering from your phone to your Rivian vehicle. So what does that mean? What that means is I can use my phone's hotspot to connect to my Rivian vehicle as a Wi-Fi connection. So previously, when you connected your Rivian to a Wi-Fi connection and you shifted your vehicle into drive, it would turn the Wi-Fi off. Well, that's not going to happen anymore, right? What's going to happen now is that it will stay connected. Now, your home internet Wi-Fi, right, doesn't reach everywhere you're going to go, so you'll probably want to connect to your phone's hotspot. You can do that, right? You go into your phone, you enable personal hotspot, you go into the Rivian, connect to that Wi-Fi network, done, right? You're now connected. Your Rivian is now connected with your phone's hotspot to the internet. So now you can use the Spotify app, the Apple Music app, whatever, in the vehicle to stream music. Now you're using your phone's data plan. So you'll want to make sure that you have the proper connectivity plan on your phone to make sure that you don't get charged overage fees. So for example, I have T-Mobile. I get a certain amount of gigabytes every month for ultra fast 5G LTE, which is great. But at a certain point, that gets reduced down to either 3G or 4G LTE. And so I can no longer use the fastest internet. So I'll still be able to stream with my hotspot, but it won't be as fast. So that could cause issues, you know, with buffering and all that. So something to keep an eye out and think about. Really, when you do the math, looking at $14.99 a month for Connect Plus is actually not that bad. Yes, you're going to have to pay for things that used to be free, but I looked, and for most consumer retail hotspot plans, you are not going to find anything that includes unlimited hotspot for $14.99 a month. Most of them are limited 5, 10, 15, 20 gigabytes of bandwidth. So that in itself is not that bad. I would pay $14.99 just for the hotspot, which, by the way, the Rivian AT&T hotspot, while AT&T is not perfect, no carrier is, being that the whole vehicle is an antenna, it's actually really good connectivity. In my area here where I don't have really good AT&T connection, that's why I have T-Mobile, my Rivian actually worked really well when I wanted to connect to hotspot. So, for what it's worth, you know. Yeah, so there's that. And so some of the other things that Connect Plus will give you, satellite imagery. You know, if you're someone who uses navigation and wants satellite imagery, that will now be behind the Connect Plus paywall. And there's a bunch of other little things, but I think primarily for most people, it's going to be the hotspot and be able to natively stream apps. And remember that later on, you know, this fall, Rivian will be releasing YouTube, native YouTube app, and Google Casting to Rivian vehicles. So you're going to be able to watch media content while you're charging or at home or camping. So that's great. But video content takes up even more bandwidth. So remember that when you're thinking about, oh, should I pay for Connect Plus or not? So anyways, that's just talking a little bit about Connect Plus. Again, I'll link below in the bio, in the description, a article I did that talks about Connect Plus and why you know, the difference is whether, you know, if you pay for it or not pay for it, what you get, what you don't get. And I anticipate that Rivian will continue to add new features to Connect Plus down the road, right, to make it even more worthwhile. So for those who are, you know, upset that now you're going to have to pay for some of the things that used to be free, you know, I completely understand. Something to note, though, is Tesla did something very similar. For years, you had free premium stuff, and then, you know, one day you suddenly had to start paying to get traffic updates and stuff like that. So let's be very grateful that we're not like other car manufacturers where they charge you, you know, a subscription fee to get heated seats. I don't foresee Rivian doing that. So, you know, we'll take what we can get, but I understand why some people are going to be upset about it, and that's fair. But at the same time, it is a source of revenue for Rivian, and I'm not saying that they desperately need it, but it's not a bad thing to have. So that was my little talk and rant about Connect Plus. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was pretty short, but there's not a lot to talk about. I can't really sit here and play music, Apple Music, because copyright infringement will catch on. But the Dolby Atmos experience is really good. I'm going to insert a clip right here. And as you hear in that clip, I was very excited to sit in my truck and listen to spatial Dolby Atmos audio through Apple Music in my truck. So thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you at the next one. And don't forget to visit Rivian Tracker to check out all the cool Rivian news and content that I've created. Bye, guys.